This conference will now be recorded.
So getting into clusters. Let me try to create a new resource group, BRIT-RG, then OK, and BRIT stir, so USTR is QS. I don't require any redundancies. Moving. So choosing my size. Manual level, going with my one. Node networking. We'll disable this one. I would like to go with manual level. I don't want my Azure, I don't want to go with the user level in here. So I would like to Kubernetes to handle my authentication level. So disable this option here. So networking also Kubernetes only, advanced tags and VPS create. Click on create button. So now let this happen, guys. So meanwhile, what we'll do, we'll talk about your parameterization of your the YAML files what you have within your Kubernetes environment. So how can we parameterize? So we can, parameter. You can parameter using the concept called as Helm charts. So this is the one where what we have to is like we have to follow a few steps for your Helm charts level. The first thing is like we have to download the helm.exe file in here. So the first thing is like we have to download the helm.exe file, and second thing is like we have to install it. So installing in here in the sense like you're not trying to install it directly in here, but what we do like we try to place that helm.exe file within your C drive, and we'll try to add an environment variable so that it can recognize by your local system to identify your helm things what we have in here. So once you're downloading it, what we have to do, we will create we create a folder. We will create a folder called as helm, and what we do, place the helm.exe file in the folder. So this is the first step. Second step you have to do in here. Third thing is like to identify this particular helm.exe within a local system, I would like to add my variable environment in here. So go to 1 second, guys. Okay. So now once you have your folder created and once you have downloaded things, so on, what to go to my system environment variables, and over there try to add new path in here so that your local system can recognize your helm.txt. Okay, so what we do, how can you download your helm.exe now? The next question. So for that, go to the Google, and here go to say that helm install, and click on your helm install here. So you can see this helm installing helm in here. So you can download your 3.8.1 version. You can see your quick start guide, and you can see your official release pages in here. So now you can go ahead and install for your Windows system in here. Windows. So it's getting downloaded in zip folder here. So once this is done, you can go ahead and you can unzip this one. So whatever you have in here, so you can unzip this one. Sorry, so it's been getting downloaded still. Yeah, it's been downloaded. You can right click and you can extract here. So I can, so you can see my helm.exe created in here. Okay, so this is a license, so it's a free software, so you don't need to provide anything in here. Just copy this particular, the .exe file in your application and here, and go to my C drive, go to my users, my Dell, and here already created my folder Helm in here. So I can see Helm created, and inside that try to place your, the same file in you what you downloaded in. So this is the second step what we have done. So we'll try to create a folder and place helm.exe in your particular folder in here. So what next? So to recognize my Helm within my system, when you're trying to use a parameterization, to recognize it, what I have to do, I have to use my add the new path in my environment variables in here. So go to my environment variables. So add a new path in here. So you can provide any names. I can see my name got here, already like hello. So you can provide your name and just provide the path where you have your, the file.exe place in here. So currently this is my path, right? C users del helm, and inside that I have my helm.exe. So the same thing you can see in here as well. Where is that gone? I can see similar thing here as well. C user del index. So once I have done, just click on OK and save it. So this one, what I'll do, it will try to help us to understand or help your Kubernetes, help your helm to understand that there is a parameterization, and he has to pitch it into that so that they can place the values wherever it's required within your YAML files of your deployment or services, or or for your pods, all those things in here. So these are the steps you have to follow here. So once this is done, then you can go ahead and you can parameter things in here. Now, for parameterization, what are the different things we require? Steps to follow to parameter. Steps to follow to parameter the YAML file in Kubernetes in here. So the thing is like, you have to create a folder, create a folder called templates in here. So within this folder, try to place your actual YAML file, what you have the whole content, your services, what are the deployments, what you're trying to create. Place a particular files within your template folder in here. And this file, what you have, you will not be having any hard codes. So this is a parameter. This file will be containing, the actual code with your adding your parameters inside that. I mean, it's not the values, but the parameterization of the things you have, something like, so generally you go with your a dollar RG, or like, a dollar or something like dollar locations, right? Similar to that here as well, you'll try to go and add your main script. So for example, let me show you here the D drive, new code, and your Kubernetes, and you see 33. So this is my templates folder, and within my template folder I have my application. So within this, what I have my I have my deployment related YAML. So see, this is my parameterization. So whatever you do, this everything is my coming under parameterization in here. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting, I'm trying to say in here. So go ahead and write this particular file should be parameterized. Okay, this is a file where it should be parameterized in here. So next is like, okay, you are saying that the values what you have in here are parameterized. Very good. But where these values should come from? because these values we are saying you are trying to use some curly bracket open, some values have been placed instead of hard coding the values in here. You're trying to use a parameter values in here, but where is actual values? So they should be somewhere, right? So that will be again within your values file in here. So see here within my within my things in here, I can see my values file. So within my values file, these are my the values what I need to go within here. Okay, so templates, what does it contain? It contains my deployment. This contains my deployment in here, and this is my values for what I have in here. So here with the first one, it's asking the name should come from dot capital V for sure. Here guys, don't go small v in here. Capital values dot web server dot name. See here, values file. Here the name of my values file can be small letters. No need to have a capital letters as you have in here. Okay, not a problem. So here values dot web server. So values file dot web server. Inside that I'm looking for my name. So this is the name. So this is my web server where I'm trying to create in here. Okay. So you can add everything. Your name, your replicas. So replicas should be 2. Okay. Your service. So where is that image? Your image should be nginx. So here you can also see a different up to this level with respect to my deployment. So you also have one more option here. So you can add the other YAML pipeline within the same YAML file as well. So this is also possible, guys. So within the same YAML file what you already have in here. So in this one, this is for just for deployment YAML file. So if you want, I can add my service, front-end service, deploy, YAML pipeline or YAML file within my same deployment file in here. So for that reason, see here, this is my deployment file. Sorry, this is my service related YAML concept in here. So again, here I can see my name has been different, my values of my things is different in here, and the port number and my the port numbers and the image name what you have to be different in here. But how can you place your one more YAML script within the existing one? So how can your YAML can understand that there are 2 scripts on the same file? That can be happened with the help of my 3 hyphen you have in here. So after completing my first script in here, what you do, you just provide hyphen 3 hyphens in here. So this helps your Kubernetes environment to understand that there is one more script to be executed. So it can be a deployment again, or it can be a service in here, or it can be a pod, whatever you want, you can provide it in here. So these are what this is something like these values I'm trying to pull from my from my parameter files in here. So this is from web server. So my service related name, see here service values dot web server dot service. So my service related name in here, and the image report, all those things belongs to my just kind of a your front end here. Similarly, I need to have some backend. So one more deployment similar to this one. I need one more deployment. I need one more service in here for backend as well. Correct. So even for that, you no need to create one. You no need to create any one more kind of copy like this. So you can add your backend related deployment and backend related service. You can add even those with the same file in here. So see here, again 3 more hyphens, and now I'm going with my deployment. But this is for my app server. For that reason being, I have differentiated my things in here. Now see, app server. Instead of app server, I'm trying to go with my name. My we are at app replicas, the similar kind of stuff in here. So this is my deployment for my app server. Similarly, I have one more for my service for my app server in here. So the totally 4 scripts I'm having under my one script, one file in here. My front end script, my backend, the front end service, my backend service, my backend deployment, and my front end deployment. So 2 deployments and 2 services are being created within the same file. So this is not like, okay, if it is not parameterized, can't be do the similar stuff. Even though it is not a parameterized one, even though it's a hard, no, the value have hard coded values as well, you can do the similar stuff in here. For example, If you go back in here, you can go with your one of my application in here. You see here, I can see multiple 4 files, right? With all of things my hard coded in here. Everything is hard coded. So what I'll do, simply I'll try to copy one of my things in here. Just keep a copy of it. And this one, I'll try to open this, Control A, Control C, exit within my backend. After last, towards the last, 3 hyphens and provide my second deployment. See, this is my web server, this is my app server. So similar to that, I need what? My front end, back end service as well, right? So go back again, double click on your service backend, Control A, Control C, exit, and hit on enter, paste it here. Again, so 3 hyphens, last one, Control C, exit, and paste it here. That's it, simple. So you no need to have these many files. So even though you have one file, and within the one file you can place, that all your YAML files in the same place in here. This is something like this one. So SVC web server, SVC app server, and you have your web server deployment, and you have a app server deployment. So all the things in one single file in here. Save it. So go ahead and say exit. So now this would be my application. Instead of saying front end or back end, I would say simply as my application in here, because application contains my back end and my front end. So everything is available in one single YAML pipeline in here. If you go ahead and run this application, automatically all of my 4 scripts will be started running. My web service will be created, my backend will be created, front end will be created, my services will be created, and they'll be tagged as per the things what you have mentioned in here. Everything will be done. So as per my things, app server, web server, 5 and 3. Similarly, SVC underscore app server and SVC underscore web server. These are the service names. So let me try to check now. It's done very good. So go to my command prompt, and I need to connect to my cluster first. So what is the syntax for that? AKS get hyphen credentials hyphen resource group VRIT hyphen RG. Let me check. Yeah, VRIT hyphen RG, and the name so go and try to create my config file as usual. So once that is done, if it is since already there, it may ask you to, if you do want to overwrite it, or get credentials name first and then resource group. Okay, no problem. Oh, I think I have mentioned hyphen only. Very good. That's the problem I believe. Yeah, it's asking for override. Yes, go ahead. Override. Now it's been successfully entered into my VRIT cluster here. So now what I want to do, I want to say kubectl get nodes. So it should be pull your nodes now, what has been created within your VRIT cluster successfully. Perfect. Now I would like to, run my things in here. So let me go navigate to the page where my application is available. This is my path where my application is available in here. Go to directory, and what is the syntax you have to follow? kubectl apply -f and try to mention the name of my application. Hit on enter. So now automatically, what are the things you have? Everything will be started creating. See, my deployments both are created. My app service both are created here. Now, if you go and check it out, kubectl get pods. Now I should see total 8. See, they still contain creating the container in here. So I can see my app service running in here. I can see my web service running in here. One more time, hit on enter. Yeah, I can see all things. Similarly, kubectl get svc. So I can see my load balancer. I can see my apps in svc and app server in here. It's successfully. So this kind of similar stuff you can do it directly within your same application here. So it's not like you have to use a parameter stuff only, then you can run the things in here. Not like that. So you can go and you can do whatever you want in here. And so you can put all those scripts in a single file and you can execute in single point of time. That's the advantage you have in here. Now, so whenever you're trying to go with your, the Helm level things in here. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to put the same thing again. My web server, 3 hyphens, my web server service in here. Similarly, app server deployment and my app server services. So the similar way what I have in here, I mentioned all the things, but everything it got parameterized. So the way you parameterize is different. What is that? Two curly bracket open, give a space, dot, values, dot, capital V is mandatory in here, name of the web server, dot, name. So here, this is not a mandatory, providing the name is not mandatory in here. So if you want to go, supposing that, if I can put it directly in here, web server underscore name or web server underscore replica, or my web server underscore service. Similarly, my web server underscore port. So I'm trying to differentiate the name. Since you have the same common name, you are trying to go with this particular part in here, or else it's not really required. So you can have everything in the same page in here. So similarly, you can cut this one and you can mention here. So to make it unique in here, or you can have your underscores in here. So even this is possible. It's not required like you have to go with the web server separately, or you can have your things in here. So just to differentiate, since you have common naming standards in here, to make it differentiate in here, they're trying to go with your kind of things like web server and app server. But even that is not required. So you can have everything under same page, or everything under my same list in here. So instead of having your here, what I'll do simply mention this. So values dot web server underscore name. When you have values at web server underscore name, then it comes to here and pick the unique value and provide it. That's it. So it's not like mandatory to we have to go to web server, and app server is not a mandatory. So instead of dot, wherever you see here, go with your underscores. That's it. So wherever you see, go with the underscores in here. So even this makes sense. Even this also works in here. Okay. But to just for differentiating purpose, to make it more readability level, what they're trying to do, they are trying to go with your multiple category. It's a kind of flow chart. They're trying to divide your things into two deployments to do different things in here. So don't save, and as well don't exit, don't save. I want as it is. Okay. So this is the main part what you have in here, and where's the values? my values are in, this is no more, can come out, and your app 33, this is my values file where you're having your values mentioned in a different way in here. So these are the main two things what you have in here. The third one what you have is like charts. So template contains your main application, and main application contains your all your deployment, all your services, everything in here. And values are the main one who where it has your actual values. So chart is something like, it's trying to help us to, it's kind of a supporting things. So the version one, the name of your Helm, what you're trying to run in here, all those things. It's a kind of a supporting kind of things. So even though you will not touch, if you do not touch this one, nothing will happen. The main thing what it help is based upon values and the templates. What are the different things what you have inside your application level in here? Okay, and you can run your when you things a parameterization, when you have your things available within your 33. So what you do, first thing, go to my navigator path where I have my app 33. If you go my directory level in here, so I can see my chart.yaml, I can see my templates, and I can see my values.yaml in here. So within my templates again, you can see your actual application. But to support that, I need to go with my value.yaml engine directly. Okay, so now what is syntax to execute this kind of this things when you are when you are having a parameterization level in here. So the syntax for when you have parameterization level, then the syntax is, you will not go kubectl anymore. No. So what you do, you say helm install and just mention what you want to run in here. So what I want to run, I want to run these three files in here. So where these files are, these files are available in my app 33. Okay, just try to mention this particular part in here. So what is that folder name? It's nothing but app 32. That's it. Helm install, and I have to mention the name of your Helm here. So Helm, you can see like application, some application, and this is the name of the Helm what you're trying to install. Install means Helm is trying to look for your .exe file when you're trying to run for your the folder what contain your templates, your chart files, and your values files in here. So this is just name of your Helm which has been trying to install for respect to this particular small project in here. Okay, so now what I told you, you have to go to my navigate to my page where you have this particular part and you have to run it. So I have to go one step backward, cd dot so that I can come up to this level. So when I try to say I go ahead and try to run my F33 within my KB basics, I have my app 33 folder in here, so that will be recognized and it start running the things in here. So when it start running in here, what it will do, it will check, okay, and see that the values have been parameterized, and also it sees that values files are available in here. So it start running. But the thing in here is like wherever you have your Helm running, you should have your helm.exe file in here. You should have your helm.exe file for sure. So it's not like, okay, we have placed the things in a C drive in here within my users, within my Dell, within my Helm folder. I have my C drive in here. So this is not like, since you have in here, whatever you're running within your D drive, that would be running successfully in here. So what you have to like, copy the, copy the file what you have in here, go to my D drive, go to the path where you are trying to have your the files or the scripts, just place it. It's already there, replace the file in here. So this file is already available in here. If you do not have this one in here, for example, if I trying to go and delete this one, I don't have my file Helm within my this particular path in here. If you go and try to execute the command what I told you in here, Then see, let's see what will happen now. Helm install. For the first time you're trying to run it, right? So for that reason, you have to go and say Helm install for this particular application in here. So it says that Helm is not recognized. Internal or external command in here. Why? Because you have to, as I told you have to place your helm.exe within my path, within the path where you have your scripts which will be running in here. Now again I placed my helm.exe within the same path. Now let's go ahead and try to run one more time. Helm app is invalid reference name. Probably it doesn't accept underscores here as well. Let me go and write hyphen. Yeah, I think now it start running in here. So it's trying to yeah, see, I can see my deployed division 1 and none in here. So based upon the namings what you have in here, so what are the names you provided within your application here. So app 33, your values file, I provide like VRIT web server, VRIT my app server, SVC VRIT web server, SVC VRIT app server. Let's go ahead and check it out since it's already done in here. As per my things, it should come up with my SVC. Yeah, I can see my these two things got 36 echo got successfully. Similarly, my get pods. Yeah, I can see my VRIT app server web server running successfully in here. Okay, so this is like the parameterization level. So later on, okay, when you want to make sure, okay, I don't want to have my 2 in here. Suppose I want to have 10 each. I would have 10 each in here. Then save it and exit. Now what I'm trying to do, let me try to again go with the same thing. Helm install and yeah, I have hit on enter because the same thing, right? I'm trying to rerun it again because I've made a changes. So let's see what it says now. So it says that installation failed. Cannot reuse a name that is still in use. So if you see Helm list in here, it will show you the names what you have used already. So this is what currently it's running mode. See, I can see these things are running mode in here. So when it's running mode, you cannot reuse same name when you're trying to say install. So install always comes for my new things, new application in here. But this is already running in here. It's not a new one in here. It's an old one. Then how can I reconfigure? How can I redeploy this again if I need to rerun one more time? Is it like I need to delete my Helm and then to rerun it again? Or do I need to anything else in here? So yes, it's like not when you're trying to rerun it again, do not try to use install anymore. But next time onwards, you have to go with upgrade. See, upgrade. So first time only you go with your Helm install for the first time deployment. First time deployment. Second time onwards, what you need to do, you will not mention install anymore, but you have to mention upgrade in here when you're trying to go with the same name. If you want to go with some other name in here within your Helm, then you can say install again. So when you're using the same name, when you want to reconfigure again, then say upgrade instead of using this, when you want to go with the second time deployment. Going back, the same thing. Already mentioned like upgrade in here. Hit on enter. Now I should see able to run my things and my deployment version will be 2. The revision will be second revision in here. Earlier you saw it's the first version, right? Now it should be revision equals to 2. See, I can see my 2 in here. Now if you go back and hit on your get pods, as mentioned, I should see 10 each. See 10 each for my respect to web application and my app server range. 10 each, right? So that is how you can parameter things in here. So you know from going forward, you will not touch a main file anymore. But whenever you are trying to make a changes in here, just go to the values file and try to mention what do you want in here. Whatever you want in. So I'm trying to make it as one each again. So save it and exit. So you're trying to run again one more time. What the kind of things you have to use to install? No way. I have to use my upgrade. Upgrade, hit on enter again. But as I told you, if you're trying to go with a new name, then you will go with install here again in here. So now it's trying to upgrade. That means my third revision will be created in here, and that will be, having only one app service at a time in here. So you will not have multiple app services or multiple web services in here. So it will be configured. So you can see my third revision has been created, and I would like to see my pods now. See, I can see only one app server running, and I can see only one web server running in here. That's how you can control your things using your parameterization stuff using my Helm. Helm is the one using my values file where you can go ahead and you can use it. So now within your CI/CD pipelines as well, you can use the same kind of stuff Helm in here. You can go ahead and you can install your things within your using your CI/CD pipelines as well. Using a Helm, because Helm is the advanced concept. Because whenever you want to make any changes, just make a change in your values file. Automatically that will be created in here. So before going to my CI/CD pipelines in here, we have one more thing to address in here. That's nothing but called as my namespaces. See, generally when you are trying to find any, so let me see, kubectl get ns. So these are what? These are my namespaces what are available in here. Okay, these are my namespaces that are available in here. For example, let me go ahead and let me delete everything. Kubectl delete deployment, and deployment name is what? A VRIT app server. Deleted, and again my VRIT web server. Even this got deleted, and I would like to delete my other one as well, app server only, and web server. Similarly, I would like to delete my my service as well. Delete svc and provide the service name. So what the service we have in here? svc yes, and to come out in here. So why I'm trying to delete all this, because I would like to show you when I'm trying to create a new one, or if you do not have anything in here, when I want to get my pod list, it try to say that my resources are not available, but where is not available. So that is not available within my default things, and there's a default namespace in here. So I would like to show you that particular part in here. So here as we see web server, I'm trying to name is match. Similarly, so that's okay. I can show up for at least for pods now. Not required to delete other two for deployments services in here. So now if you go back and check it out now, kubectl get pods. See what will happen. So what we'll do, see, kubectl get pods. I have deleted my all the pods, right? I don't have any pods in my any deployment in here. But that is saying that no resources found in default namespace. That's the one I want to show you in here. Okay. So what is this one? This is my default namespace what I have in here, and that is represented as NS namespace. So what are this one? So this is something like, this is a kind of environment name what you have, where you will be trying to create your pods or deployments, whatever you're trying to create in here. So you will be trying to create in a specific environment. So generally, when you are trying to create these things, you will not directly create in your production environment for sure. So first thing, you have to go and try to create your things within lower environment, check how it is looking over there, and everything looking good. Then only you try to move your things to my next level environment, right? The same thing in here as well. I have to mention clearly in which environment you want to deploy my pods, or which environment you want to deploy your services in here. So based upon that, I need to mention my, the kind of namespace what you want to go in here. So the very first thing is like, by default, you have your default namespace, which has been assigned to all of us, like whatever who are trying to create in here, all the things. The rest of the things are for internal usage. We should not touch these three namespaces in here. Only whenever you're trying to go with whatever you're trying to create, everything will be pointing to my default namespace only in here. Suppose, okay, I don't want to use my default namespace. I want to create my own namespace. Is it possible? Yes, of course it is possible. So what you have to do is like, you have to write a syntax like kubectl create ns hyphen, you know, the name of the namespace what you want to provide in here. So let me check one more time, guys, respect to my syntaxes. Yeah, perfect. So kubectl create ns and just provide the namespace what you want to create in here. So with this, what will happen automatically? A respective namespace will be created within my environment. For example, kubectl create ns, and I would like to create my dev as my namespace in here. So namespace dev has been created. Similarly, I would like to create my production environment. So namespace part has been created in here. So if you go and check it out now, get ns in here, get ns. Now you should see the new things coming up, dev and my prod as well, which has been created 21 and 30 seconds ago in here. For example, think that, okay, I want to create my deployments, or I want to create my services, whatever you want in here, in a specific namespace. It's not like, I would like to, if you do not mention anything in here, automatically that will be going and pointing to my, the default namespace. But what I want to do, I want to go ahead and I want to point that, or I want to create my things within my broad namespace, or within my, within my dev namespace, whatever you have in here. So for that reason, how can you make sure that you're trying to create, specific namespace in here? So for that, I can see helm install the name of your hello, what you're trying to do. 33, the name, the folder what you want to go with. You can see -n and provide the namespace in here. If you do not provide this one, what will happen? By default, it will point to my default. But if you provide your -n and your namespace in here, then it will go ahead and it will try to create your namespaces within your existing, or whatever the namespace you provided in here. Okay. So for now, as you know, we don't have your, kubectl get pods. Okay, this is my default namespace pointing to. Similarly, kubectl hyphen n my dev namespace. Even I don't see, now I can see I don't want need dev namespace in here. Similarly, you can mention like prod. I don't found any resource in my prod namespace. Similarly, if I go and try to go with my get svc, so I don't find any name prod prod namespace in here. But if I mention something like get svc without mentioning any namespace in here, it will point to my default namespace, and within my default namespace I can see these things are running in here automatically. Okay, so let me try to delete even this one. Kubectl delete ns and your name of my ns. So not found. Deleted services. So I'm sorry, this is what I'm trying to go with. I'm sorry, namespace. I'm trying to delete my svc, right? Actually, wrong one. Yeah, it's been deleted. And other one what I have my web server. So it's trying to taking time to come out here. So now go ahead and try to remove your svc app server, and now this has been also getting deleted. So now I should not see your services even in your default namespace. So this is what you see in here. This is a default one. So this will not come into picture. Only the things which you're trying to create manually, based upon that only you will be trying to communicate the things in here. Now if you go and check it out, kubectl get ns. So it says that. Sorry, I'm going with ns every time. svc. So I can see the things in here. I don't see my internal default basis only. I don't see my manually create any kind of services in here. So I don't see my pods in here, or I will not see my svc. So wherever when you're not mentioning any respect to namespace in here, it will try to mention your default things in here. So now what I want to do? Now I want to go ahead and I would like to install my things within my dev namespace. So let's see the difference. Copy it, paste it, hit on enter. So now the name of the Helm, which is been installed provided like app33 itself. Earlier I provided like Helm -app, but now I'm trying to provide app33 in here. So this will be again as a new installation for taking the code from app33, and it will be in the form of a new installation within my name app33 in here. So let's try to see. Yeah, I can see revision 1 has been created. Now go ahead and try to see get pods. Do you see any values in here? So my revision 1 has been deployed successfully. So I'm able to see my things that got successfully created in here. Let me check my Helm list. Yeah, I can see my, where is my app 33? Okay, so here as well, it's trying to, it's trying to point to my default namespace. So -n prod, because I have, installed, sorry, dev. See, now I can see my thing. So namespace here is default. Here the namespace is what? Dev. See the difference? So if you do not provide anything in here, directly point to my default namespace. But if you are trying to deploy specifically any namespace, then you have to mention that particular namespace for sure, or else by default it will going to go to my helm, default namespace. And similarly, kubectl get pods, but generally you will not see any resources found in your default namespace. But same thing if I mention like -n dev in here, now I should see my pods running, one each, app server 1 and web server 1. Similarly, when you're trying to go with my, see, I can see my the service are running in here. But if you go with the normal one without making any mentioning in here, it will try to point to my default namespace. So this is different and this is different, guys. So based upon what you want to deploy, you have specifically mentioned your namespace. So namespace is kind of like kind of an environment what you're trying to go and you're trying to deploy the things in here. The similar way you can go and try to install your things within your production environment as well, or production namespace as well. So now going forward, what I'll do, I will try to create a CI/CD pipeline where I'll go ahead and I will try to install, or I will try to deploy my application within my prod namespace in here using my CI/CD pipeline. So when you're trying to go and check it out, for example, -n prod, right? We have. So do you see anything in here? No resources prod. Similarly, if I go and check for my pods, I do not see any resources prod namespace in here. So now going with my CI/CD pipelines, I can go ahead and I can what? I can run your CI/CD pipelines to install my images within my prod namespace in here. So again, for that, to have your, to run it, what you need to do is like, you need to create your, again, your organization, the project, as usual, the repository, Azure repository, what you have, you should be created. And inside that, what you have to put in is like, you have to put in your Helm folder. Where is that? Yeah, this particular, this step. These are the things you have to put in the code level with respect to your Azure repository. So that, or else you can simply go and you can mention like helm.txt. So that helm-chart, whatever it is. So that where you see, for example, here I have my helm-chart. So just copy this one, only this part folder, and push it to my, to my Azure repository. So the things will be there already available in here. Where within my template folder, I have the parameterization stuff. I can see one service and I have one deployment. If you want, you can add more, as you just saw. So add more, and those values can be pulled from a values file in here if you want, and you can add one more app server and similar kind of stuff. You can add one more again in here. So as you did earlier, I mean just now with respect to my normal manual method. So you have to push this particular Helm chart, this particular folder to my repository, and we have to create your own YAML pipeline to install your Helm. See, to install your Helm, wherever you try to run the things, you have to Helm there for sure. So within your Azure level as well, you should have your own Helm install over there. Helm tool installer task. We do have one kind of CLI. We have to install that one, and I need to add more other, the task, more the details, where to install, what is your namespace you have to install, all those things you have to mention within your YAML pipeline, so that it will go ahead, it try to access your prod namespace and try to run your deployments over there, try to run your pods over there, and complete your CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so how can you create a CI/CD pipeline? What are different things are required to complete your step to to have your what to say pods to be deployed or service to deploy? What you're trying to run in here within the Kubernetes manually currently? What you're trying to run here? I want to do everything using my CI/CD pipeline. So how can you create your own YAML pipeline to run this particular scripts with respect to my Kubernetes? We'll see all this in your tomorrow's class. Okay. So after completing that, with that we can complete your Kubernetes related concept, and can start with Terraform slowly. So before going to that, till now, I believe you understood the namespaces concept and Helm charts concept. So any questions, please? Fine, right? Then we'll wind up for today. We'll meet tomorrow with CI/CD pipelines concept for the same Kubernetes environment. We'll see how it goes from there. Okay. Thank you guys then. Have a great day ahead, and we'll meet tomorrow same time again. Bye bye.